Hey y'all, this is Jenni Earl. I am coming to you live from our studio in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I have grown this business over the past 3 years after going through some pretty hard stuff in my personal life and working towards a better life for myself based on the courage to be authentic. So really listening deeply, figuring out what was right for me, and that was termed by me. And it got me to this place where I've never been happier in my life. So I thought as a maker, I wanted to bring that like, you are so much stronger than you think you are. You are so much braver than you think you are. And I wanted to give you a tangible way to tap into that with a product. So I thought back in my life as to what made me feel that way. And it was my grandfather's bandanas. So I made 100 of these and sold them around here in Winston-Salem. It's just a very simple bandana pattern with "Be Brave" at the corner. So you could tie that on, you could tuck it in your pocket, you could wrap it around your handbag handle and go out and be a little braver that day. We got such an overwhelming response to this locally that I wanted to bring more and more of them. We have grown this business. We're offered in many stores across the country, small boutiques. We love connecting with small boutiques who really get what we're trying to do and love these mantras. So now they range. We have Roam Free, Chin Up Buttercup, which has been especially lovely here during COVID because we all need that message. Giddy Up, to remind us to, get back out there and keep living, even though it's much more limited than we're used to. But remember that courage to explore yourself and the courage to explore your passions is not limited to how you can go out into the world. You can explore your passions right here, wherever you're at. So that's a good little message. So I wanted to talk to y'all today about how to wear these. And so we use southern grown cotton. We're hand dyeing it ourselves right here in North Carolina. It's cut and sewn in South Carolina. We're hand dyeing and printing it right here in North Carolina in our town. And it's a high quality, really high thread count bandana. So what has been proven, I'm not going to say it's like, PPE for your ER situations, but for our everyday life, protection from this virus, 2 layers of this is perfectly protective. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how we've been wearing these as we go about our daily life. This is one of my favorite ways. Oh, this one's hell yeah. This is all about like opening your eyes to the magic that's all around you. So I have worn this like this for, 6 or 7 years now. But now you can just pop it up over your face and that becomes a mask. And then you pop it down and you're still super stylish. So you're like styling no matter where you're at. You're in your car, you roll down the window to talk to your neighbor. Hey neighbor. You're driving in the car, go to the grocery store, whatever. So I'm going to show you how to tie this and then tie several other ways that you can wear these as masks. So let me take this one off. So you can also do it, I was going to do this one like this. This one's all y'all. So you just fold this into your corner, okay? And then hold it by the corners here and pull down and tie it in a knot at the bottom. Okay. The thing I love about these is they're not delicate. These are meant to be utilitarian. They're meant to be used. So be rough with it. Now I like to fold mine over one time before I put it over my nose. And then you just secure that behind your back. Make it pretty snug, but it doesn't have to be, super restrictive. Okay. So this way, with this little knot, it holds that fabric right around your chin line. Okay. And then you pop that down. Again, super stylish. Carrie, who's here with me, she has hers on this way. We wear this like this almost every day. Carrie, always fabulous. Okay, so there's that way. And again, you just pop it, go out in your day. We have found that this like doesn't fog your glasses too for some reason. I don't know what it is different than like our traditional mask, but that's a perk. Another way that we have used or figured out how to tie these is to open it up, and then you can fold it and fold it over like this. So that point towards the middle, and you pull that other point up towards the middle, and then you fold it over from the ends one more time. So it looks like this. Sort of, yeah, there we go. And then you take that and you kind of give it a twist as you put it around. Okay, oops. Shoot. It's frisky. Okay, and again, that kind of just like keeps that little hug. Any of the droplets. Okay. Okay. So that's fun too. All the ways. All the ways. Another thing that's really great about these is I've been keeping one in my back pocket as well as you're, opening doors and things like that. Kind of what you have to interact with on a daily basis. Maybe you have to pick up a pen and sign something at the bank or whatever. So if you have one of these in your back pocket, because they get better and better as you wash them. They just get softer and more lovely. So don't be afraid to, use them. So use them well, because they're going to last well beyond COVID when we're all back out in the world and at Field and Supply and interacting with each other and sitting around those gorgeous campfires. And so a couple more ways to wear it that don't have anything to do with face masks as we look forward to those days. Okay, so you fold like this. So get your triangle going. This is Explore More, so this has like little cactuses and there's a hidden teepee. I like to hide things in my designs, so you'll have to keep your eye out for those. So you roll it up. I like to start at the top corner and roll this up. Okay, so we're going to roll it, roll it, roll it. We make something that we've made is a leather slide. So this can be worn two ways. You can wear it like a traditional kind of bolo style. So you just tuck the ends of that bandana right down in there and pull it up like this. Super cute. But another way, and it was actually invented, I was at Field and Supply the first time I was there, dressing the mannequin, and I thought it would be fun to put the slide on this way. So style invented at Field and Supply. I just tied it. And then it's kind of necklacey. Okay, hello. So picking up where we left off, somebody asked if I make all the designs myself, and the answer to that is yes. I have been very intentional about this product and all the products that we make here at Jenni Earl. I wanted it to show that handwork. I love that about makers. I love that about Field and Supply. I mean, walking around and seeing the hand in those wooden chairs and woven blankets and all the things that are beautiful there. So I sketch the pattern on paper, and then I have some right here. So I was playing around with like moons and suns and different, kind of nature elements. So I play around with stuff and then I scan those into the computer. You can see a little more. I scan these into the computer and then take these elements and start whooshing them around until they come out like I want them to. And I think that's a super fun part. We use a discharge ink to print our bandanas, so it's super smooth. That what happens is it just removes the bandana dye as it puts the color in. So it's not that ink that sits on top and can be kind of scratchy and feel like the 80s. It's super soft. So yeah, it's an important part. And I think because of the meaning of them and the mantras behind them, I work really hard to fit that into the design. So to show you this one's called Chin Up Buttercup. I had it out just a second ago. So this design, I started that old saying that you have to plant 1,000 seeds to get that beautiful flower. So it's a, persistence, and you can't just plant a seed and put some water on it and set it in the window and expect it to turn out perfectly. You have to work at it. You have to, check your soil and whatnot. These are all like, parables. So the border of Chin Up Buttercup is seeds. And then an incrementally smaller amount of those come to the like little bud blossoms. And then you work super hard and you get to that perfect flower in the middle. And there's on her bracelet, if you can see, are a little horseshoe and a little heart, because I think taking your heart, and we all need luck. You bring that in. So all the bandanas not only are hand drawn, but they all have meaning behind why that's there. I think one of the most important parts of design to me is editing. So I draw, when I start out drawing them, there's all kinds of mess of stuff. And then I remove everything that's not essential to that meaning. I want you as a consumer and as a part of our journey, anybody who buys these bandanas becomes a part of our crew. Like we're a gang of humans. So I want you to be able to like ingest the message, put your chin up, explore more, be brave, all those things. It's important to me.
So we have
we have another question.
Emily that says, how do you come up with your mantras?
Oh, from Emily, how do I come up with the mantras? That's an interesting, I read a ton. I've always loved quotes. A lot of the early work came directly from my grandmother. So we had Honey Hush, Chin Up Buttercup was one of those that came from my grandmother. All y'all. So it's things that we say around in our studios. We're talking about stuff and it'll stick, and we'll start like repeating, like hell yeah. We started noticing that we were saying hell yeah a lot because our business was growing, or we'd make this great connection, or we'd hear a story we hear stories all the time, and we love it so much. Yeah, so we heard this story about a woman who was in Thailand in this tiny little airport, and she had her Feel the Fear, Do It Anyway bandana tied on her backpack. And then she passed a woman in Thailand with a Feel the Fear bandana tied on her backpack, and they both saw the bandanas and like screamed and hugged. So it's like those moments. So when we hear that, they sent us a picture and like, said, oh my God, we had this connective moment. We were like, hell yeah, like we're showing up and doing this thing, and it's really impacting people. So this is Feel the Fear, Do It Anyway. That phoenix rising. So we were saying hell yeah over and over and over, and I'm like, all right, let's do a hell yeah bandana. Something that we've been saying in our studio through this COVID time, because we can't touch each other, and we used to do high fives a lot. We're like, high five yourself, you did that great. High five yourself, you're doing awesome. Or like, oh my gosh, that newsletter was amazing. High five yourself. So this fall, look for high five yourself to be coming, as we all are needing. So it's like those things that we're feeling, we're just reacting to the world and like what would be really useful to us. We want to give useful tools to find that courage in yourself, to chase that dream that you've been dreaming of, to really dig deep and find your own authenticity. We're like, what are the tools to that process? Yeah, so that's where the mantras come from.
And
thank you, Emily.
Have there been any growing pains with your business? If so, any advice?
Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Brad. So some growing pains with our business, and do I have advice? Growing pains, that's like the word bittersweet. Yes and no. Growth is always super exciting. I have been really, really fortunate to, when I am growing at a point and I need extra support, or I have luck or hard work or intuition. I don't know what to attribute it to, or all three, all three working together. When I have gotten to that pain point, I have been able to turn. So something that I probably won't answer this like a business person, because I'm a creative doing business and I don't know how things are supposed to go. I think that's one of my strengths, because I troubleshoot and just come up with the solution to the problem. So something that we have struggled with during this time in particular, but at each growth point, is supply chain. Wanting to keep our supply chain domestic, we have had to really look deeply and not make what would be the easy choice, to keep pushing and getting a really high quality product and completely made in the USA. So we've had pain points at growth when we need a cut and sew house to cut and sew our bandanas, because we need, thousands a month or whatever. So something that's happened recently is we used to make our slides out of vintage belts, which are beautiful and something that I love wearing. I love vintage belts. You see some inspirational belts back here. But the place that we were getting vintage belts from, they stopped going out and picking, and we were buying those like 100 or 200 at a time, and they're shut down. So we had to figure out how to, because people are loving these slides and they're useful and fabulous. So we decided to make our own. So I designed some patterns and of course they all carry a little bit of luck. So I designed some patterns that we could make our own slides. We use this natural leather, so they'll just age and get better and better with time as well as you touch them and use them. I love that about the natural leather. And then you can see all three of those designs are going to come with the stud as well, this turquoise stud, faux turquoise.
Do we have wholesale? Do we sell wholesale?
Oh, do you sell wholesale? Yes, we do. Our wholesale program is super easy. It's a minimum of 12, so it's just a super easy start. It's really fun to get them in and see how your customer responds to colors, the mantras. We send a maker card with those and kind of tells the story and lets your staff and your customers get familiar with the brand and what we're about. And yeah, they're great. And then if you have a color like from all over the country, it's funny, we have this pockets of like different colors or mantras speak to different areas. So if you pick one and that mantra really isn't speaking to your customer, then we're happy to just swap that out and get you some fresh colors. And we come out with 2 bandanas each fall, so that's like early August, and spring in February. So there's constantly new colors and mantras to choose from.
And then are you going to expand your line?
Oh, are we going to expand our line? We are working on that now. I'm working with a man here in Winston-Salem who does letterpress printing. He has the most gorgeous machines. I'm a vintage nut. I mean, if it's rusty and it's been around since the 50s, I want to touch it. So he has these beautiful old machines from the 50s and works in such a gorgeous way. So I can't wait to collaborate with him. So he's going to put several of our designs into a letterpress print. So look for those to come in a couple weeks. We're coming down the home stretch on getting those photographed and everything on the website. We'll put them on the Field and Supply website as well as soon as we get those ready to roll. And then we're looking at, maybe we love hearing from you on Instagram about what you might want to see. So we're looking into note cards, journals, apparel. I'm working with a cut and sew house now to figure out what avenues are. We're going to really want to dig deeper into the North Carolina textile ecosystem. There's a company here that is growing hemp to mill a hemp and cotton mix. We're very excited about that as a sustainable fabric that will be, again, milled, cut, sewn. The whole process can happen right here in the Carolinas. Is there another one?
Your dad says, Dad says,
my dad.
How did you get so fantastic?
Hi, Dad.
I'm assuming it's your dad.
How did I get so fantastic? My father is asking. It's all from you, Daddy-O. Oh, let's show more bandanas. Okay, Carrie, giving me some tips. So we have, this one's been really popular too during COVID, Keep on Truckin'. This is how the bandanas are packaged, and they come just a very easy recyclable package that has a little story about my grandfather, etc. And this one has, I love little Ford Broncos. Ford Broncos and...
Tell them that they're bandanas, but they can be used as napkins if you want them to.
So we get a lot of questions, and actually had someone at Field and Supply buy 8 for their dining room, if these can be used in other ways. This is a square cotton, folks. It can be used any old way that you would use a square cotton. I think they make beautiful, if you wanted to use them in your kitchen or in your dining room as napkins, if you wanted to put them in a powder room. So back to line extension super quick, because
Glue wants to know about
sweet Carrie. Okay. Got me a wild rag. So this was our product extension from January. It's called a wild rag. So it's a much larger scarf. I don't know if I'm showing the whole thing because I can't see, but it is the softest. So this is a cotton double gauze. So it's 2 layers of cotton gauze that are just pin tucked together at certain elements. We're hand shibori dyeing this. It's like a folding and clipping process before it goes into the dye bath. And then it is printed with a design, and this has embroidery. So this horseshoe pattern and the Be Brave is embroidered. And this is just such a versatile use. So I've been wearing this a lot doubled up. So I'll have my bandana that I pop up as a mask, and then have this over. It looks great with this shirt too, so I'm glad we're showing it off. Such a great, it's the softest thing, especially as we're moving into fall. It will be so cozy you can use it this way as well. Wrap your baby in it, wrap it around your swimsuit. Oh my gosh, it looks so cute as a little sarong for your swimsuit. It's just a super versatile piece of soft cloth. Beautiful soft cloth. What were we talking about?
Let's show more bandanas, like Trust Yourself.
Trust Yourself. This is one that came out in February or in January. This is called Trust Yourself. So I found on my path to being a more courageous person and being more authentic that it's really helpful to stop and see those moments, and sometimes you're seeing them with your heart. But to notice like those little things that kind of light you up and make you curious, and you want to keep following those paths. So the meaning behind this design is like kind of going along the path and seeing where those flares come up. You keep to the center. But trusting yourself is a highly effective way to be a happier human.
I have 2 more.
2 more questions.
So there's a wish you consider throws and beach blankets. I'd say.
Oh, would I consider throws and beach blankets?
And how do you pick your colors?
You just never can tell what's gonna happen. It takes really, a new product takes me finding the supply chain that feels good, that I can feel super transparent about, because we're building this on that domestic kind of ecosystem, and wanting to dig deeper into that because it has felt so good to be able to drive and shake hands with, this person is cutting and sewing our goods. So we want to continue building that. So yes, all the things, we want to make all the things. It's just figuring out that supply chain so we stay really true to that leg of our mission.
And how do you pick your colors?
Oh, colors. Colors are so lovely. I trained as a costume designer, and I really dug into one of my favorite parts of designing a costume for a particular character was what colors have such meaning, and they have subliminal meaning to us. So I'm sure you've heard power colors and, da-da-da, that sort of thing. That is real. And it's different for every person, what they feel good in. But there was a lot in costume design about what would be in this character's closet. So I thought a lot about the power of color in that realm. So as I've grown up and putting things in my own closet, that's funny. Putting things in my own closet, I pay a lot of attention to how colors make me feel, and how colors kind of transmit different meaning to the world. So I use all that, and then just based on things I like. I love kind of a washed out. I don't like bright, super new colors. I like them to feel worn as they are influenced by my grandfather's bandanas. So we just have a couple minutes left. I'd love either to answer another question or talk about Carrie's fielding some questions over here. It has been so fun to come live. I have really missed being at tables and being able to have great connective conversations with y'all. So this has been a really neat way to do that.
You mix your own colors.
Oh, I mix my own colors. Yes, I don't pick colors. I make colors. It's such a fun process. If we had more time, I really wanted to take y'all into the dye room and see. So I'm going to be testing some colors for what's coming up. But yeah, we have powdered. It's a sustainable powdered dye. 1 minute left. Sustainable powdered dye. So I use those much like paint. I mean, when you're mixing paint, you're like, it needs a little more of this, a little more of that. So I put them together.
Erin wants to do another one so she can see your dye room.
Oh, well, never can tell. Field and Supply, powers that be. Let's do a dye presentation for Jenni Earl. We can do that.
Yes.
We can do that tomorrow if we have a time slot.
And Mitch really likes that you're bringing manufacturing by Banzi. And he would love a picnic blanket also.
Yay, picnic blankets. Okay, I hear ya. Picnic blankets on the way. As I talk and deepen our relationships, I can't wait to bring so many different products to y'all. And every single one of them is going to carry that mantra to remember that you are brave and strong, and that your authenticity is valid and beautiful. And we can't wait to see it. Thanks so much.
Up the good work. Love your mantras. Thank you. Love everything about Jenni Earl.
We're getting some really beautiful messages in
yes.
On the chat, and I appreciate it so much. We do this work for y'all, absolutely, to help you
and we
grow.
Appreciate yours.
Oh, I am so appreciative.
Super Soul Saturday with Jenni, Mitch wants.
Super Soul Saturday.
Yeah, so Barbara is giving you all sorts of keep up the good
Super
work.
Soul Saturday night, I think, would be the appropriate Jenni Earl. Campfires and a hot toddy. Thanks, y'all.